Great to see you in this session, the weekly Mind Connect. Lovely to see all of you joining in. And we're going to explore a new domain today. In fact, the same series that we are continuing with, but today's topic is a little more physical in nature. It is about pain relief, how to handle the physical pain. That's what would be our exploration today. Mostly we have been talking about the mind, but we'll see today that pain is no different from the mind also. So great to have everyone and your greetings. Thanks for your greetings. I can see Sitakanji, Blessiji, good evening. Lovely to see all these beautiful people who are there. And let's get started. And before we get into the presentation, let me just give you a brief about this session. Every week, normally on Friday, unless we change for some reason or other, Friday from 7 to 8, we have this session with all our regular members and also invitees from the respective week. Like we have a lot of invitees from this week. And then we go in for a discussion on a specific topic like anxiety management or how to overcome depressive thoughts, how to be focused. Last week, I think it was on focus. And this week we thought we'll bring in a very pertinent topic of pain management. And today, although we had a long back, about 3 months ago, we had on pain management, but today we are focusing more on how you use the quantum transformation processes for managing pain more effectively. So that would be our exploration today. That would be our journey today. And it'll be typically we'll go for about 1 hour. And in the process, we will finish the first input part, maybe around 40 minutes or maybe a little less or a little more. And then we'll get in for a question and answer session. And I will also urge all the members who are going through the process or going through the course now in the second level, if they have any difficulty, challenges, I know all of you are already posting those on the respective WhatsApp groups, but here also anything you'd like to suggest or you'd like to check, understand, or you want something to share about how it is going, any benefits, you are free to share those as well. So thank you very much. Let's get started with our topic today. That is how to overcome pain, how to get rid of the pain or relief pain. And the anchor around which we'll be progressing is the same series, the quantum transformation process. Before we actually get on to the pain part, I'll again give a brief on this quantum transformation process, how it has been termed like that, and then we'll get going. Just give me a quick response on your chat box. Can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Can you see me on the screen? That would be of help. If all good, then I'll proceed. Yeah, good evening, Rajiv ji. Good evening. I just need also a quick response. So many yeses. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. All clear. Yeah, thanks. The quantum transformation process or practices that we have been discussing for last 6 weeks. Today is the 6th week. We are going to look at the same process again. Why we are looking at this from a very different perspective, looking at our life from a very different perspective. All those people who are going through the morning sessions, many of you are there already in this session as well. You would appreciate what exactly we are talking about. And I will take you through again to reinforce why we are doing that. What is the scientific background of it and what good it does to ourselves. So let's get going into a little deep understanding it. And I'll also give you a brief how also I came to this process of quantum transformation. In fact, in the year 2008, I keep mentioning about that. I read a few books on quantum as well. There is a book I think many of you might have already gone through, The Tao of Physics by Fritjof Capra. And that was one book which actually inspired me a lot to understand, explore into the possibility or rather the reality of nature, of existence, where probably one of the domains we can see spirituality and science coming very close to each other. And where Fritjof Capra also has mentioned in a very lucid manner how the existence itself is so much abstract and so similar to the Eastern philosophies. That's what he's referring to as Tao. And he has mentioned so many Indian context, Indian aspects And that's very heartening to go through the book. And following that, I read few of the other books of Fritjof Capra. One of the other books which also actually fascinated me is Uncommon Wisdom. In that book, where Fritjof Capra very explicitly mentions how the quantum physicists in the era of early period of the quantum mechanics, they were thoroughly confused about the very nature of their observation. What they're observing were so abstract, so unthinkably different from the common understanding that they could not perceive how it is a possibility. The possibility is like when somebody is watching an electron using an electron detector, the electron behaves differently. The moment we are not watching, the electrons behave in a very different fashion, very unusual fashion. And this was not being perceived by the mind they were having. To the extent they were thinking, is the electron conscious? That's what was only outcome which is coming out. The electron knows that we are watching it. And to understand it more, as as that fact goes, Werner Heisenberg, one of the founder figures in the quantum realm, quantum mechanics, he had traveled to India to understand the abstract concept of Indian philosophy. And later on, before his death in 1973, in an interview with Fritjof Capra, he mentions that I owe my understanding of quantum to the Indian philosophy. Especially, he had a lot of discussion with many philosophers of those days, including Rabindranath Tagore, where he could understand many of the Indian deep philosophies, the Vedantic philosophies. And he says, that was one thing which actually gave me the understanding of it. Although I was having mathematically a concept of quantum, but understanding it, probably it goes to, I credit it to the Indian philosophies. And that's the power of quantum. When we say Indian philosophies, it is experiencing that quantum. That's what we are doing in the morning, experiencing, realizing that we have that potential to understand our real nature in a very different way. And when we talk about quantum, we talk about two aspects. In fact, the two aspects are, one is energy. So we talk about energy. Quantum talks about a lot of energy. Quanta itself means a pocket of energy. It's a unit of energy. And the more fascinating aspect is there are beliefs, there are concepts, Werner Heisenberg and all the other scientists, they believed that quantum exists in the realm of consciousness, where even time space doesn't have a space to stay. So it's two concepts. The consciousness and energy are the fundamental aspects around which we can understand the quantum realm. So that's what was the idea. And when we say that energy and consciousness are the two aspects, here in our practices, it's not about the concept. In our practices, can we experience it and use it, apply it to our advantage to make our quality of life better? That's what we are doing. That's what we are progressing through in our practices every morning, every day. And most of our practices are hovering around these two concepts of energy and consciousness. So what we are doing, we have, in fact, in our basic course, we talk about the E state or the alpha state. And here it is the start point. From alpha state, we move forward where we talk about get to the E state fast. And those of you who are in the morning session, I again realize this, that understanding is also important. Why we are doing this? What is the purpose of going through that process of step by step moving towards a deeper self of ours? We are talking about get to the E state. For that, we are doing the morning, we go to the body and then come to the breath and then flow with the breath to bring ourselves to a state of calm, very composed state, very relaxed state, a state of bliss. That's what we are going to. And many of you probably access it someday. As I say, every day is not same, even for the meditators. Expert meditators are also sometimes not in their best form. As cricketers, someday some player is not in their best form. Same thing applies to meditators as well. But the big part of them, or the best part is, when they're not in the best form, they also accept that. They said, okay, I'm not in the best of form today. So some of you, you get to the state, you are relaxed, comfortable, and we get to the E state or the alpha state or the elevated state to start this whole practice. The next step that we do is realize the inner source. And as we do every morning, when we say this, repeat this every morning, we almost do the same process of realizing that the complexity that the body and mind has, that we carry through right from our birth, right through the existence that we start from, the first cell in the mother's womb. It's called the zygote, by the way. So first living cell in the mother's womb, right from that point onwards, till we breathe our last, the flow of so many processes, so many complex, intricate processes happening. It's a miracle, it's a magic, it's something unthinkably complicated. And that is happening. Certainly, there has to be some extraordinary source of energy which is there, and a very conscious energy, very intelligent energy. So those two aspects are leading to keep our life moving and doing all these things very precisely, with precision. So we realize that yes, we have an inner source, a divine spark, as we call it. A divinity, a spark of divinity, a presence of divinity is all the time present within, which is helping us to move ahead. And the qualities we discuss, what are the positive qualities that this spark possesses? So when we are into that positive quality state, we call it love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, blissfulness, joyfulness, confidence. All these positive things are there with this energy. When we get to that state, we connect, we feel like resonating with it. So we have to go to that feelings to resonate with this inner spark, the inner source. And once we resonate, then we again feel that energy within and feel that consciousness within. We do this process every morning to start with. Almost like 50% of our practice to start with, we go through this process. And then what we do is we anchor. Anchoring means I remember. All the time I say, please remember this state of being in love, being in kindness, compassion, forgiveness, a flowing consciousness, absolutely in the state of security. We are in a sanctuary of security, absolutely nothing to fear about. So we keep saying to ourselves, suggesting to ourselves in this deep state, realizing you are absolutely safe, trusting the wisdom of nature, trusting the wisdom of the creator. So doing that, we get to that state of comfort, get to the state of what we call a state of being, of absolute bliss. And we say you remember this state, anchor the state of being. It is like, I give this example again and again just to reinforce. We can remember a phone number, 10-digit phone number, or we can remember a story by repeating, by saying ourselves, I need to remember this phone number. I will tell you a phone number. If you do not put effort to remember that phone number, it will go away from your mind. Similarly, state of being that we go into at this point in time, I always suggest during that meditative practice that remember this state of being. You are always having access to this state. Anytime you want, if you remember it properly, you can re-invoke it, recall it. That's the idea. So we recall it, re-invoke that state whenever we need it. Let's say we are in a difficult scenario, we say, I need that state, and it just comes. So this is the step that we follow every morning practice. And this is what we say, it's a quantum transformation process, where we constantly tell our deeper mind, the unconscious and the subconscious mind, that yes, I am not helpless. The divine spark always exists within me, and it is taking care of everything. And I have that power and I have that access when I resonate with its qualities, the quality of love, confidence, compassion, forgiveness, all these positive qualities, including healing, because this power has the quality power to heal. So including healing, we do this. And from this point onward, we do some visualization practice, staying in that anchored state. We bring in a light, or we bring in some thoughts, positive visualization, and start using those visualization. And this is far more deeper than just the alpha state, because we are constantly suggesting ourselves, changing the internal mechanism to believe that we are actually completely secure. There is nothing to worry about. We do not have any clue how we have come to this planet. We have no clue where we are going to go, but in between we feel we are aware, we are conscious. And there also, if we are completely trusting the wisdom of nature while doing our action, we are far more happy being than being very skeptical and not understanding what is happening, thinking that something will go wrong, something has happened bad. When we accept and when we think that everything is happening for the good, things improve significantly. And from that point of view, from that state of being, when we start giving suggestion, visualize, it is far more powerful. So this is what is the concept of getting into the field of quantum. And today, as the topic is, it is managing the pain, or rather, how can we get relief from the physical pain? That's what is our pursuit today, understanding or how we can do that, right? We all have a physical pain. There is no denial of this. Every time, either because of something happening in the outside or something happening inside. Let's say there is a stomach ache or a headache or something because of an ulcer, many things, so many pain that we encounter. Even itching is a kind of pain that gives us discomfort. All these things happen and we suffer on account of that in the body. Now, how to handle that? That's what we are looking at. And there was one gentleman in University of Minnesota. In fact, I attended his course. James Frampton. James Frampton is the gentleman. He has a elaborate study on pain management. When we talk about the pain management, typically they have two aspects. When James Frampton talks about these two aspects, one, he talks about the biomedical approach, in which it is about the medical approach, as you know, the pills that we take, or maybe some physiotherapy. It is very specific to a specific location of the body, and it tries to handle that part. But what Frampton very emphatically mentions, that actually pain has got multidimensional aspects. So we need a holistic approach. When he says holistic approach, being a scientist also, he talks about the holistic approach. And the holistic approach talks about three basic fundamental aspects of ours. It talks about the physical aspect. We feel a physical pain. There's a cut, a wound, it will give us pain. It's as simple as that. There is a psychological aspect of it. When we say psychological aspect, I would like to give you an example that I don't know whether you know it or not. And this is, again, it's not purely psychological. There are physiology and psychology combined. There is a term called phantom pain. The phantom pain typically is very unusual kind of a concept theory, wherein when, let's say, somebody's hand is not there, left hand is cut, it's been amputated. Now, suddenly that person comes with a complaint that I have excruciating pain in my left finger or left palm. So I'm finding it so unbearable, I can tolerate that this pain is there. Now, this is a problem for the doctors. Physically, it doesn't exist. Where to treat, what to do? You cannot do an anesthesia for a place where you do not have a pain, which doesn't exist physically. And this is a real term. It's a disease, it's a problem. And there has been so much of research. And one of the Indian scientists, Dr. V.S. Ramachandran, not Indian origin, American scientist, one of the most respected figures today in the area of neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience. He has done extensive work on mirror neurons, a typical set of neurons, and on the phantom limbs. In fact, he has a book called The Phantom in the Brain. It's a very interesting book, Phantom in the Brain. It's a little technical in nature, but if you enjoy those kind of books, you would love it. And then the second book is Tell Brain. Both are fascinating books. So where he could find out why this is happening, what is the problem? The problem is every part of the body is actually mapped onto the brain. It's as if having a real estate. If I'm staying elsewhere, but I'm having a kind of a reservation in some other place. So every part of the body is actually mapped on to a some part. It's called the somatosensory cortex, the motor cortex. They have been mapped appropriately. So every part is mapped. Sometimes, even if the hand has gone, that mapping is still existing. And mind is creating a pain, although the physical body is not existing at that point in time. So sometimes, beyond physical, we have psychological aspects which create that pain. And that gave a lot of insight into the pain itself. Is the pain real or we create it? Both are true to a large extent. Pain is actually an alarm system. It gives us a sense that there is some issue in the body which needs attention. At the same time, sometimes we actually exponentially increase the suffering on account of the pain because of the untrained mind. And that's where the problem is. We'll see as we progress through the session. We have time to go to that. So psychological aspects, actually, it increases, it enhances, it amplifies the pain where we can intervene. Physical pain, it's a good signal for us to intervene in the body. Look at the body. If there is a mosquito bite at some point, what I'm going to do is I have to immediately attend to that. Yeah, that's my immediate thing that I need to know. So this part is important, to have a physical pain and respond to it. But carrying through the pain and getting into the psychological domain of it and unnecessarily suffering on account of it is the challenge that we face. That's where we need to intervene and work upon, right? So the psychological aspect is done. Now we look at the other aspect where the holistic perspective works. The spiritual aspect. Typically, when we say spiritual, it's not about the religiosity of the what we understand spiritual is. We understand the deepest core of ours, and we anchor around different segments of the body depending on our what you can say evolutionary processes. Some people are so bodily attached. Some people are more little detached from the body. Some people are having a very deep sense of an inner core. So the variation also has an impact on our pain. When we can dissociate ourselves from that body and observe it. When I say dissociate, it doesn't mean that we'll go out of body experience. No, that doesn't mean that. What we mean is mentally we appreciate and start observing the pain. Mentally we know we are safe and we need to intervene. And spirituality, one of the most core aspect of spirituality is acceptance. Accepting whatever is there, accepting with a lot of grace, as if it is given to you to accept it, to go through that experience without much of grieving and crying and complaining. So that's what spiritual aspect is all about. Now moving on, when we say holistic techniques, we talk about three primary techniques. One is we bring in the mind and work on that. The psychological aspect, we bring in the mind, and we also do it every morning. What we're doing, the attention is brought to a particular point in the body. Let's say we start from the top of the head, or we take to the hand, we take to the elbows, wherever. We just at will, we can take our attention to different part of the body. And technically, let me put it. Our attention is mediated by a very interesting organ in the brain, a small bunch of tissues or neurons in the brain. We call it the anterior cingulate cortex. It mediates the attention. So if I want to take my attention to, let's say, a flower outside, that organ is very active. It mediates attention. When I want my attention to go to, let's say, sound, again, that needs to be activated. That takes it to the sound. I want the attention to a typical part of my body, let's say my palms. Again, I can pay attention to the palm. So this attention, when I shift, my ability to shift and mediate attention is done by that part called the anterior, ACC in short, they call it, anterior cingulate cortex. And this attention control is important. If I can make my mind so sharp and trained that at will I can shift my attention. That's a very interesting thing, very powerful thing to have. At will, I can take my attention and stay focused for a long period of time. Focus is all about that. How I can take my attention to something and be there with that particular object in my mental space. That's called attention. The second aspect, we call it awareness, where not just we are attentive, we are also feeling the experience. That means if I'm looking at the flower, I'm experiencing the flower in my mind and I'm aware that how the flower feels. If I'm paying attention to the breathing process, we do every morning, attention to the breathing process, we bring in the attention, then we feel, how does it feel? how the breath comes in, what are happening in the body, what are the feeling that are going through. So that's another part of the brain, especially the frontal lobe is very active, apart from the anterior cortex, which is also in the top part of the brain. The other part is also the prefrontal lobe is very active, giving it that we are present for that experience. Yes, awareness. And third aspect, we accept it. Acceptance is I'm absolutely taking that as good to me. I'm not resisting. I'm not prohibiting, or I'm not being averse to that experience. So I'm paying attention to the experience, experiencing it, and I'm accepting it, not averse to it. It is called mindfulness process. And in mindfulness process, it has been found it is a powerful process to handle pain. But we are even going a step further. So powerful process to handle pain. What we do here, if there is a pain, let's say there is a pain in my palm, or headache, I take my complete attention to the headache. I experience it. I just see that headache, how it is feeling. Is it deep, something like hitting, or it is like pushing a nail inside? What is that feeling? I'm experiencing that pain feeling, deep experience of that feeling after paying attention. Then I say, it's okay. Let me experience. It's an experience I'm going through. I'm accepting it with grace. So that's the mindfulness process. And what is happening here is something very interesting. By this, we are dissociating. What we are doing, when we see something, we are different from it. The experiencer, in a way, is different from the experienced. So we are creating a dissociation from that. So I am little distancing myself as an experiencer of the body which is having a pain. That's what mindfulness helps in doing. The second aspect, kinesthetic aspects, we also do some of the like posture, position, the bodily sensational awareness and change of breathing pattern, change of body postures. All these things are related to the kinesthetic aspect. Tapping, we do EFT techniques, the emotional freedom techniques. There are acupressure techniques. There are pranayam techniques. All this, they form part of the kinesthetic aspect. This also we can do jointly. As in the morning practice, sometimes we go for breathing and take the breath to different parts, especially in the healing meditation we did. When the breath is going to a particular part of our body and we are feeling attention, awareness, acceptance, and the breath flows there with a lot of healing power. And then we are going to the next one. We get to the QTP, the quantum transformation process, where we are realizing, reminding ourselves, we have that energy, we have that consciousness, expansive consciousness, and that is our companion all through our life, all the time that we are existing. That without that, we cannot even survive for a second, even a fraction of a second. So all the time we are secured with the presence of that expansive consciousness, with the presence of that extraordinary energy inside. And with the help of that, we can heal ourselves. We are saying that, we are visualizing that, and we are urging and asking that healing or extraordinary power to come and heal. Similarly, here the pain is there. We are paying attention, we are paying awareness, we are available for the experience, that's awareness, and we are accepting it. And after accepting it, we are just taking that breath there as a kinesthetic measure and seeing that healing process happening in that part. With that light, you can feel a light, you can feel a kind of, foam or something which is coming over there. That visualization has its own power in the brain. So we do that and feel and see as if it is actually getting healed. And in pain management, this works like magic. When we do this, it needs practice. For that, even if when there is no pain, we do the practice of body awareness. There is another part in the brain called the insula. Insula is that you can equate insula with the GPS. It understands different part of the body, and insula has what they call the interoception, the internal perceptions. The insula moderate, or it understands, apart from the different cortical region like the somatosensory cortex and the even the motor cortex. The insula also has the internal body feeling, like the bowel movements, so many other movements. Insula also plays a major role in understanding that. So this part is also activated when we take our attention awareness to different part of the body, and we become very, what we call, um, proficient in taking our attention to every part of our body very easily. Let's say knee, I go there and I'm only available for the knee's experience in me. It's a powerful thing to have. In our Indian process, there is something called the Yoga Nidra, wherein we take our attention to different part and we stay with that part. And then we slowly calm ourselves, our body, and completely get into relaxed state. This is that practice where we take our attention to different parts, we stay there, completely get absorbed, as if I'm attending to my palm, as if the entire body is not existing other than the palm. I'm only feeling this palm. And when we see scientifically the type of things that happen, the kind of internal cellular things that happen is amazing. We see the blood flow change, very many things change in that part. So our attention has a lot to do with our healing process and the ability to take that, and in this state of complete sense of absolute power of the extraordinary source that we have a awareness, attention, and the acceptance in place, and our kinesthetic aspects, our breathing and other sensation feelings are also taken there. Sometimes we stiffen our body and release it. That also we did in the progressive relaxation practice. So we do all these things, mix of all these things, and finally the QTP does the magic of healing. So this also works in the case of pain management, the same thing. But we have to keep practicing. So the pain happens, you're absolutely in a state of comfort. Rather, you look forward to an opportunity. Wow, pain has come. This is an opportunity for me to heal that pain and experience it with all that grace. So this is what we can do with this process. It's a holistic process, and QTP can add to that flavor. It can even expedite that healing process. Yeah, psychosomatic connection. Amygdala has, yes, amygdala is a part of the limbic system. It is kind of center which is very sensitive to anything happening outside. I normally say, for layman language, it's like a radar which very quickly decipher the external inputs or even the internal memory inputs or thoughts, and quickly prepares the body how to respond. And the response mechanism that amygdala creates is less than 1/100th of a second. That's the reason even before we realize what's happening, we are into a state of complete distress. Yeah? Sometimes we are panic attacks happen. Very extremely hyperactive amygdala there. Anxiety happens, hyperactive amygdala there. So these are the things, in fact, for people who might not be knowing about what this amygdala is, it is the emotional center in the brain. Typically, when it gets some input from outside, immediately it responds and prepares the body for a response mechanism. It receives that it is a sense of danger, and instantaneously the body is ready for a responding mechanism. So that's what it does. So that was a question. I thought I'll just respond to that quickly. And moving on, the effects. When we see the holistic approach in the brain regions, there are two powerful areas which we can focus on. One is there is some part called the thalamus. It's like a filter, or it's like a gateway to receive the information. Other than the smell sensation, which is the olfactory sense, rest of all the four senses are actually rooted through the thalamus, the part in the body. And when the pain comes, the thalamus, those who are meditators, those who are going through holistic practices, this part actually filters out a lot of information which may unnecessarily jack up the pain. So people who are meditators, people who go through this kind of kinesthetic practice and mental practices like the QTP, you would find the this gateway, the thalamus, that would be very smart to protect us from that hyper pain feelings. It would just take that much which we need to experience. In fact, let me give one story. In fact, it's in a research. Very recently, it's I think within 10 years, less than 10 years, they had conducted a research on people who are meditators. Yeah. So, and those who are not, the control group or the general group. And what they did, there was a pipe, copper pipe, where hot water would be flown, and you would be handling or holding on to that copper pipe. When you hold on to the copper pipe, naturally, when the hot water comes, it will be a pain, and it's decent hot water, so you actually get a really shrieking count of a pain. Wow, wow. So whatever you call it, you hold it and get that pain. And what they did, they first gave them an experience. They asked them to hold on, and it is such design is such that it will actually not burn your hand. So all the people would hold on to that. Water would flow inside, and then you feel that pain. And then they would say that this pain would be there again after 2-3 minutes. And before the water is flowing, we will give you a beep, maybe around 15 seconds before the water comes, so that you're prepared to face that challenge. Now see what happened. When from that point onwards, that means they had one pain, and they're expecting after 2 minutes, another pain would come. Now, in case of the meditators or those who are having that mindfulness practice and having holistic practices, it was found that when they check their brain activity, the brain is absolutely calm and nothing is happening. Whereas the other set of people, they are also experiencing the pain. They're carrying through that pain which they experienced when the water came to the pipe. And not just that, when the time came, that beep came, that after 15 seconds, the water is again going to flow, giving you that pain. These people they started rising. The pain, before even anything happened, the pain started, they recalled the pain recall came. And the pain went to almost like 70% of the pain they actually experienced. They're experiencing before almost like 15 seconds. And then the pain came. And when the pain came, these people, they are getting, let's say in a scale of 10, they're getting almost, say, let's say 7. The pain is not that much. So 7-degree pain they got in their palm. And what they found in the meditators or the people who are going through holistic practices, their pain before was almost like nothing. They never experienced a pain before actually the pain came. Even the beep came, no change, not much of change. People who are extremely proficient meditators, they had no change. They were only holding on, experiencing the present moment. And then there was a pain, actually the water flown through that pipe. And they found the spike in their case was very high. It is higher than the other ones. The spike in the other case, if it is 7, they had experienced 9. But they were accepting it. They were not having the suffering, the part of the, especially the orbitofrontal cortex area where we judge that pain. There's not much of activity happening. Only a physical sensation. They get a spike, and then the water left the pipe or it finished. Now again, they came back to the normal level. After a few seconds, when the burning sensation has relieved, they are back into the normal level. Whereas the other people still suffer that pain for almost 3 minutes or more, maybe 5 minutes in some cases. So this was amazing. They were saying, what is happening? The pain has gone, but these people are suffering the pain. And these people, instantaneously, they had a higher physical pain sensation with lesser suffering, and they're immediately relieved of the pain. So what they're saying, our ability to do these holistic practices, which I explained, it can get us relieved from the pain. Significantly, it can reduce the pain. The same thing also can be seen. This part I was mentioning about the orbitofrontal cortex, where the activation, where we judge ourselves, that what is happening. We judge whether we are in a good life, bad life, good thing, bad thing, especially people who are going through OCD kind of ailments. They have hyperactive orbitofrontal cortex attached to negative thoughts and negative activities. So this can be really painful. But here, those who are meditators, it is so calm. It is giving all the time that it is acceptable thing. We can accept. Acceptance is built up there. We are not judging too much about things. At the same time, when we say we are accepting, people would say then you will become lazy, you will not act. But contrary to this belief, it has been seen that people who are having this kind of approach to life, they are super sharp in acting, because they have, when the challenges are there, they have a security, a sanctuary place to stay and act. Most of the time, our action is suboptimal because we are scared, afraid, and stressed. When we are free to act, we become very benevolent, we become very generous and act in the best possible way. and things, in fact, are better. We can handle things which in much, much better way. So that's the power of these holistic practices, especially when we add the flavor of quantum transformation processes, believing and programming our inner self, in our subconscious and deeper minds, that we are absolutely in no hurry, no challenge. We are safe, secure, and we can work with all the power that we have without unnecessarily draining those energies. Let's harness those energies to contribute significantly in life and enjoy life in a better way. So that's the thing I thought I'll share with you. Thank you. I think it's Dr. Gomes. Thank you for your kind remarks. So let me stop sharing the slide. We have a few minutes to go. I would love to hear from some of you. Thank you, Govind Mahatoji. Thank you so many kind words that you are saying. But we will focus on our understanding questions related to today's topic. People who are going through the practices and the course, also I would love to hear from them. Yes, Krishna Pranabji, deep understanding. Thank you. Partha Pratimji, negative energy attacking, resisting, but cannot overcome to high extent. How to reduce that pain of not doing? Okay, let me unmute so that I can get the question more clearly from you, Partha Pratimji. Thank you, Sridharji. Thank you so much, Ved Tiwari-ji. So let's, I've unmuted. So if you can just speak out, Partha Pratimji, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Just give me a moment.
Sir, it's a nice session. One thing, that physical pain, that part is understood. Suppose in the course of journey of facing the negative, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm listening to
you. Facing the negative challenge, and suppose that much of success is not coming, and it gives the pain that we are defeating pain. Right. So is the same process help out?
Yes. So you are talking about the mental pain.
That is the pain,
is it? Is it the
mental pain? Yes.
To a large extent, yes. To a large extent, if you see, you are already attending the sessions in the morning as well. So
yes.
It's a very regular attendee, I see. So yes, it does. If you look at, in fact, in a way, we say the mind body is an integrated part. We very seldom we can actually differentiate the both. They are somehow, some way, they're integrated. They're one unit. Only for our understanding and for intervention, for implementing our processes, we have a segmentation, and that is important. In Sanskrit, there is a word called viveka. Viveka is actually to segmentize, separate out. And at the same time, we know they are integrated. So that separation process is what we need to do. But mind pain and body pain, the approach is almost the same. Except for body pain, our experience is different. Mind pain, the experience is different. But the approach can be very similar. Yeah, very similar. In case of, let's say, mind pain, I give that 4A technique. But I normally don't give 4A technique. The technique would not work good in the physical body pain process. You have to have different technique. But the approach can be the same. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Understood. Sir, correct me if I am wrong. That means visualizing the pain and accordingly act. And as you say, emotion, channelizing or the meditation, the process, as you say, this way.
Right.
One small, if you permit, sir.
Yes, sure.
Suppose it's very difficult. Which actually the first comes, mind pain or the body pain? The body pain gives the mind pain, or the mind pain gives. Suppose it's a say not depression type body pain and the anxiety and the symptoms. So symptomatic. So in that case, one can start with assuming the main body pain or assuming the mental pain. It gives relief to both. That is the question.
Gives relief to both, but let us look at this way. See, body pain is something. Mind pain can be there without the body pain. That we all know. Yeah, mind pain can be there without a body pain.
Yes.
Right? But body pain also leads to mind pain. There are so many cases of depression because of chronic backache, chronic headache, chronic stomachache, the IBS.
Correct, sir.
So many things can lead to depression and mind pain. So body pain, yes, the body pain, actually the body sensations are far more sharper than the mind sensation at times. Our mind takes some time. What happens in mind? Instantaneously, the mind throws the issues, but our conscious mind takes some time to get the hang of it. Conscious mind actually perceive it, process it, and then feel the pain in the conscious space. But body pain is instantaneously experienced by the system of the nervous system, immediately stresses it, because that's kind of a serious survival hit. So immediately we get the body pain compared to the mind pain, but both are interrelated. If you continually having the mind pain, slowly you'll find body is also having discomfort. Many of the backache issues are because of mental issues like depression and other things. So yes, the only thing, in fact, to cut this long aspect short, the only thing that we can do, it is about our practice and the ability to handle the pain, and how we can compress that practice. We should not go for ages and 5 years of practice to only handle pain. We don't have that much of patience. So what we are doing, we are using some methods to expedite the process of getting the hang of the body. Only 3 methods that we are doing. Mindfulness we are bringing in. We are bringing in that different processes like tapping. We talk about the EFT in many of the sessions we have conducted. By tapping, we also can release some part of the body energy and we can make it better. In a different, what we call this chakra system, or there are very many other systems through which we can use the bodily different parts to get rid of this pain of mind and the body. And also the QTP, where this is more of it's a creation of the mind. At the same time, this is a fact. The fact is, we cannot survive a second or a millisecond or a microsecond or whatever the smallest unit is without all the processes functioning appropriately, and it is functioning for ages. So there is an incredible source of energy. Now we are acknowledging that and giving a suggestion to the mind, don't worry. And with that, I can heal myself. So this confidence, which is going to give us the power to heal, and this needs practice, as we are doing the practice on a regular basis. Does that satisfy your query part of the thing?
Understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I have few questions. Sirish Yoshiji, is the process exactly opposite to a general advice, ignoring the pain? Absolutely, sir. Ignoring the pain actually can be counterproductive. I have stomachache and I start ignoring it. It may be something, actually an ailment. Let's say it's a stone or something in the pain in the body. We are not going to ignore it. We are going to accept it. We are going to heal it, or feeling that healing is going on. And very difficult to ignore. I don't know. Can you ignore a bodily pain, physical pain, unless you are that somebody can actually do that? Again, that's a meditative process. You are completely go for kind of self-hypnosis process. And again, self-hypnosis, somebody was asking the other day, what is the difference between a meditation and self-hypnosis? Self-hypnosis, you are subsiding the conscious mind to such an extent that you are not feeling the pain at all. You are as if in deep sleep or having no awareness of the pain. Whereas in meditative processes, we are alert. We are knowing that pain is going, but we are accepting it with grace. So these are the two processes. With both, you can subside the pain, but that's not even ignoring it. Unless we pay attention, we cannot actually know it. Yeah. So ignoring it or neglecting it is not the best of ideas. We have to live in this physical world. We have to attend to pain if it is happening. Only thing is, we should not suffer much on account of it. So if there is an actual medical condition, we have to go to the doctor and get it solved. So that's something that we cannot ignore. Everyone, I think, let's acknowledge this. Even the best of meditators, the most fit person also have disease. So body has its own problems. It would come anyway, but we have to suffer less on account of it. That's what we are doing here. Yeah. There is a question, what is the opinion about hypnotherapy? There are different therapeutical processes. This is one of them. Hypnotherapy works good with many people. And the only thing, there are two issues with it. One, you need a trained hypnotherapist.
Hello.
Yeah, just a second. I'll come to you. Just a second. I'm just answering a question on the chat box. I'll just let you speak here. So hypnotherapy has its own power. It has its own advantages. And if you can self-hypnosis is a little oxymoron kind of a thing. Normally in self-hypnosis, we subside the conscious mind to such an extent that we are almost like unconscious. So self-hypnosis is a process which needs training, and we are completely coming out of the conscious experience of a pain or something. So it works, but yeah, it has its own advantage. We have to see who is receptive to which therapy. That's important. Yeah, please go ahead. There is a question which was coming up. Yeah, please. Someone, I couldn't see who was it. Yeah, please do talk. Ramesh Babuji is saying he wants to talk. Yeah, please go ahead. You are not muted. You can unmute yourself. Is it not? Yeah, you can unmute and speak, please.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Tell me.
This is DN Tripathi. May I ask a question, please?
Sure. Please go ahead. Tripathi.
Will you please explain a little bit about tapping techniques? Tapping techniques.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, tapping techniques. In fact, I normally take people through a tapping technique called the emotional freedom technique. So it's a tapping technique which most of the people they use. And the tapping is, they say there are different meridian points in the body, and by tapping those points, you can release the blocked emotional energy. So there are 9 points they talk about. There is a part here which you need to tap. Then there are 5 parts in the face, and the chest, below the armpit, and on the top of the head. These
total nine, no?
9 points, yes.
Yeah. So nice of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
These are the 9 points they use. Yeah.
Sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, hello.
Yes. Please go ahead. Just your name.
I'm Ramesh Babu, sir.
Yes. Ramesh Babuji, please.
I'm from Bangalore.
Okay.
I'm 62 years now, retired from PWD as an engineer.
Okay.
Then I was a builder and all. That is my background.
Mm-hmm.
All these years we had no issues like this, negative thinking or anything. We have led a comfortable, positive life.
Right.
But nowadays, after this Corona started, there is some negativity in me. Okay. For that, these 3 days seminar I had attended, but I missed a little few minutes in that. Some days I came late and things like that.
The recordings are still available, so you can go through this.
Yeah, these recordings have you sent it to us, sir?
In the group it is there. Yes. In the group it have
all the 3 days recordings, huh?
Right.
And moreover, generally, I want to become mentally strong and all those things. So, how do I start with your course, sir?
Sure. We can. You are talking about the next level course, or the present what we're doing?
First, let us start from the present one only, no?
Present,
and then
just go to day 1, day 3. I'm also planning to share today's session in that group as well, so you can just have a look at the present session. And what I would rather suggest, tomorrow we have a session wherein we give specific problem-related solutions. So you can put your question there. Exactly what is the issue? I will try to address there.
Tomorrow, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So these 3 days, whatever you have finished,
is there.
That recording is there in this WhatsApp group.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Very kind of you. I need your advice in future also. I will start from now. Definitely. And I hope I will become very strong without any negative thought.
We need to take a resolve and take a decision and take action. That's only.
There is not much of a problem, but however, generally better to be positive in life, no? So I want to be. Thank you, sir.
Yes. I would love to see you very strong also. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So, any other questions anybody has? It's almost like only about 3-4 minutes left, so we can look at any questions. Let me look at the chat box.
Hello.
Yeah. Please.
I'm Lancelot Pinto.
Right, Pintoji, please.
What is the name of that author you told to Chapra or something like that?
Fridtjof Capra. Fridtjof, I think the spelling is little unusual. Frijofcapra. Fridtjof Capra.
CAR.
No, first is fridge. FRIJOF. Fridge of Capra. CAPRA.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Sir,
I
will you
wrote to
please?
you.
Yeah. Yes, Pintoji.
Yeah, I wrote to you that presently I have some financial crisis and
no issue. In fact, I'm also planning sometime. I would have free webinar, so please do join in whenever I'm doing them.
Otherwise, I heard I have also read many positive books on subconscious mind. But your explanation and the way of explaining, I really got impressed.
Thank you. So honored to hear that. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, will you please upload today's recording also?
Yes, I will. I will.
So nice of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, any other question from the people who are going through the present course? Any challenge you're facing? Anything difficulties? Yeah, Fridge of Capra. Mr. Magesh has put it. Thank you so much. Fridge of Capra. He has got multiple books. The one book is it's a book called The Tao of Physics, TAO of Physics. It's a wonderful synthesis of spirituality and quantum mechanics. And the top of the book, the cover page of the book is Nataraja. So it says that how he's relating it to the quantum. So that's what he says. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, can you hear me? It's me, sir, Sundar from Bangalore.
Yeah, Sundarji, please go ahead.
Sir, this after COVID, I have been infected in the month of May, first week of May. And after that, I recovered almost 3 months over. But I am feeling this slight chest pain.
Okay, sir, can we have this question tomorrow, because there we'll specifically answer the question tomorrow. There is a link which has been shared in the group, so just put your question there. I will definitely answer it. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank
the
you.
Personal issues for tomorrow, so that today we can only discuss about the topic that we are.
Okay.
Anyone else who would like to speak? There is a question by Govindaji. While doing meditation, I'm almost sleeping. What to do? It's very normal. In fact, many times when we go for Yoga Nidra sessions and people just snore. So it happens. Only thing is you have to keep yourself alert that you not fall into that sleeping state. Do ABCD practice. That will give you, because you are keeping your alert mind or conscious mind so alert, you not get into the sleep mode. And slowly we'll develop the practice and continue the practice. The sleep would not be there. Even if you sleep, not a problem, but again, it is sleep. It's not meditation. So try to keep yourself reminded that I'm not going to sleep. Slowly, it's just a matter of 3, 4, 5 days, continual practice, you will overcome this problem. Yeah, that's what. Then there is a.
Sir, I'm Durga Prasad. Can I
please.
I have a question?
Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, how do I make sure that I am in E state after actually following the ABCD process? How do I make sure this is E state or this is not E state?
Yeah. So let me put it in simple term. When we say E state, it's E state is a term coined by me. It's my first book, E State of Devas, but it's alpha state. That's what we talk it in generic terms. They call it the mind is in such a relaxed state that we are into that frequency of 8 to 14 kind of a frequency. That's the hertz, that much of cycles per second. Mind broadly the brain functions at. So it is a state wherein you feel very relaxed, and typically you can relate it to our experience. I'll just put mute for a few minutes. So it is a state where you feel relaxed, typically like when you are just about to sleep. You're just about to sleep. You know that you are not sleeping. You have not slept completely, but in few seconds you are about to go to sleep. Remember that if you recall that kind of an experience, that's where we are into alpha state. You are absolutely, sometimes even when we are driving and absolutely there is no distraction, mind is like fixed. We are not thinking anything. It's just a calm mind. Sometimes in driving or doing some act of extreme kind of art form, we get into that state, just in a state of flow. So there we are actually coming to very low beta or alpha. So it is a state when you are about to sleep, that kind of feeling, but you know you are still alert. So that is a state called alpha state. In experiential point of view, that is the metric. That's how you can gauge whether you are in that alpha state or not. It's a state when you are not sleeping, but about to sleep. That kind of an experience. Yeah. Let me unmute now. Right. Does that give you a sense of what exactly it means?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just
Nice
try that.
explanation.
Yeah, just feel that just remember that kind of a feeling that you are not sleeping. You know that you are understanding everything, but almost like feeling sleepy.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Right. Please go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I am from UP. Sir, I want to know when I go to the process of ABCD, you only even 10 seconds I can concentrate and I can focus on my breath. Then the mind around here and there. So very rare cases I can do this practice. So how should I improve myself to concentrate on ABCD to improve myself?
So ABCD, when we are doing few things, like we are counting, and we are also keeping something called distraction check. So we have to focus on that D, distraction check. Somebody was also asking the question, what is the difference between C and D? C is counting the breath. So after every count, we are reminding ourselves that we are in a process of counting. We are not going to be distracted. So this reminding and keeping a track on the counting, because what happens, we count 3, then we forget whether we counted 3 or 5 or 4 or 2. So we forget about the count. So we remind ourselves, I counted 3, next will be 4, and now I am on the process of counting. So that quick reminder will help us be on track. So you have to focus more on that D part to remain on track of that counting. When you do that, it will be easier for you to be on track. So every breath.
So,
sir, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello,
yeah.
Sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
It happens.
One at a time. Just a moment. Yeah. Just the person who asked.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It happens in few days, starting few days, that we can't concentrate on ABCD.
Yes, it will take some time. It will take some time.
Can you tell me the sometime means how many days
I
should face this?
Yeah, there can be many people who do it on the first attempt itself. Many of them have already got the flavor of it, and sometime it takes more time. Yeah? It depends on our own ability to concentrate and varies from people to people. So maybe it should not take more than 3 to 4, maybe 7 sessions. If you do it 7-8 times, maybe you can be in that state. Slowly you get.
Sir, can we 100% get rid of this anxiety and depression?
That is a different thing altogether. Let's put your details tomorrow in this in the question. I'll see what exactly is the issue, because this is
one more thing, sir. One thing more I want to ask, sir. When we have the repetition thoughts, this is the main problem I'm facing. Repetition thoughts. It is very difficult to remove all repetition thoughts. So what should be the process to
yes, I'll definitely address, because that takes some time. It is a complete thing. I'll definitely just put your question in tomorrow's link that I've shared. We will address all personal issues in the tomorrow's call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. I think Rajiv also has asked to speak. Rajiv.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Shetty ji. Yes. Yeah.
Srinivas here from Vizag.
Yes.
Sir, I have 2 questions. Like how to become mentally strong in this pandemic situations, and number 2 is, you have any solution for diabetic reversal, any without medicine and all? You have any treatment or anything?
To be honest, no, I do not have a program for diabetic reversal, but definitely these practices help you overcome the. It has helped. Like I myself I didn't have diabetes. I had blood pressure. Now I had blood pressure medicine for 20 years. And then now I am not having, but I didn't have a program for it. Just these practices, many of these practices helped. So we do not have a program for diabetic reversal as such.
Actually, I have an anxiety problem also. Sometimes I feel tense and hypertension. That's why I was asking any
This anxiety issues we can handle with these practices, with miracle practices. They help a lot. But yeah, physically, some, because we do not have a structured program for like diabetes or hypertension as such, but they help. Many people, they have got benefit in this. So that's because we say it's a byproduct or advantage.
Sir, one more thing, how to become mentally strong, sir, in all situations?
Yeah, can we do this question? I will take this question. Mentally strong in all situations, resilience we call it. We'll take up tomorrow. We'll give you a presentation.
Okay. Sir, please, one question I want to ask for all, not for my personal issue.
Yeah.
Sir, can it be happen if you give, if you prepare the program like this, that you can call 100 or 200 people and you can give them to place leave, and all the expenditure will be ours, and just like 1 month course or 15 days.
Just I could not get it. Can you repeat, sir?
Sir, I want to know, can you do this this favor for us, because we are suffering too much and we are very anxious to get rid of this type of this 24 hours difficulty. So how it will be better if we face to face, you trained us, and face to face we get the training, and we are able to spend the money for that also. If you keep with you, us to keep with you and have any program.
Yes, so far because of this travel restriction and all, we do not have. In fact, let me tell you, we have a very vibrant group already, and I believe some of them will be themselves be trainers, and they will be doing many things, and I'll be joining maybe at different places in future. That's what I also love doing physical programs. So we will do that.
Sir, you organize a hostel like that, or the people can stand all
yeah,
can be facilitated there.
But as of now, we do not have plan. Yes, in future we are planning. Many people who are there, they're also.
Okay, sir. Because I see that you can save the many people from the difficulties.
Yes,
sir.
we will look for such opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Rajiv ji, I think you also wanted to speak something for quite some time. I think I didn't.
No, sir, Sandip sir, I got a chance. I am grateful to you. I'll speak both in English and Hindi, sir, if you permit.
Yeah, please.
अच्छा, ये उन सब के लिए है जो पहली बार ये कोर्स अटेंड कर रहे हैं. I'll just call you as my friends or brothers and sisters. मैं फौज से हूँ, रिटायर हो गया हूँ, और मैंने ये कोर्स किया है और उसके बाद 21 दिन किया है. तो जिनको ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे कि क्या एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन, हाइपरटेंशन इनसे दूर हो सकता है, 100% दूर हो जाएगा. आप लगन और शिद्दत से ये कोर्स करिए. बस मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा. एक चीज, एंड एक आप सबसे दरखास्त है, हम लोग सब चैरिटी में कुछ दान करते हैं.
अभी मेरे ख्याल से सर, राजीव सर, ये हाँ, एक काम करते हैं. We will have a detailed discussion. I think let's.
I just want to put it across to them.
Okay.
I mean, let them carry this with them.
Yeah.
Those who want to join, it's. I mean, this thing.
In fact, people should do charity of their own also. It is. I mean, that's part of our motto also. Do charity of our own. And
संदीप सर ने कोर्स में पढ़ाया था कि क्रिएटिव कंट्रीब्यूशन, वेल्थ, वर्थ और वेलबींग आप सबने देखा होगा. तो उसमें हम वेल्थ जो अर्न करते हैं उसको चैरिटी में देना चाहिए. थोड़ा बहुत जितना भी देना चाहें, अपनी श्रद्धा है, इसमें कोई कंपेल किसी को भी नहीं कर सकता है. जिसकी जितनी हैसियत है उस हिसाब से. तो मेरा ये सुझाव है कि एक एकेडमी ऑफ अनलिमिटेड माइंड से कुछ हम लोग पैसा इकट्ठा करके उन गरीब लोगों की मदद कर सकें जो अपने आप पैसा देके कोर्स नहीं कर सकते, या गरीबों को खाना खिला सकें. तो अगर आप लोग चाहेंगे, जो कंट्रीब्यूट करना चाहता है वो करे, मतलब करना चाहे तो अच्छा है. बाकी हम एक ट्रेजरर रखेंगे और हर एक कंट्रीब्यूशन का अकाउंट रखेंगे.
मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि सर, राजीव सर, एक काम शुरू तो ऐसे करते हैं. लेट मी फर्स्ट डू इट, देन आई विल आस्क फॉर इट. सो यू हैव अ वंडरफुल आइडिया.
आई एम कंट्री सर, व्हाट इज बेटर देन, आई मीन, चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम. आई विल स्टार्ट विद 1000 rupees contribution.
No, that's fine. That's so nice of you saying this, and I'm really, it's a great idea. I mean, we should do it in future. We will develop a corpus and do it. But before doing that, even we can do it at own. जैसे राजीव सर ने बोला कि we can do it at our next door, for our next door neighbor also. Whether it is a brand or we do it from our own place. But let's do that. Help people. That yes, I agree.
I have started this. I'm
Right.
contributing it, and Pranav sir will be the treasurer. I have spoken to him, so I'm contributing 1,000 rupees. I mean, let's start this. Anybody who wants to contribute is welcome. Otherwise, we can just leave it. So a novel idea should
yes.
be taken to its finality, its totality.
Sure. Thank you. So it's a great idea, but yes, there is no compulsion. It's people who, or even if you do at your own place, that's great enough. You do it with us, or do it to yourself. That's a big thing. Thank you so much, sir.
No, sir, somebody was mentioning that he cannot pay. So whatever money, I think for the course, 50% can be subscribed, and we can.
Oh, that way I will also. I'm also thinking that I will have some free courses very soon. That's I should also get into charity. I should not only ask for it. So yeah, of course, I cannot make it free all the time because a lot of background thing I have to take care of my team.
I know,
yeah, and I'm trying to keep it as less as possible. So that's going on. And even I'm thinking as we grow, maybe from October onwards, once in a month, I will have a free course so that people who are having difficulties, we can take care of their problems as well. So that course is absolutely my submission. It will be a charity from my end. Of course, as you are saying, a brilliant idea of bringing in. But yes, we can do charity at our level. But at the beginning, let me also start. I'll start the free course maybe sometime in October. And of course, I'll give only, maybe it's a webinar of 1 hour or 2 hours, but we'll try to help people, especially helping them to specific issues and problems in their life. I think we have already exceeded by 15 minutes, and so many of you are still there. My sincere gratitude to all of you. And tomorrow again at this time, at 7 to 8. But tomorrow we are very specific about individual problems which have come through that link, and I will be addressing those issues. Already we have received a lot. I will try to cover as much as possible, and maybe similar questions will bunch together so that we can address them one by one. And having a real great time with the groups and with members of Academy of Unlimited Mind. So many of you have already joined from this group, and look forward to have a fascinating time from Monday onwards. People who have joined, and I think it's a large group now. So people who have joined, we would have the first session at 7 a.m. in the morning on Monday, which we call we'll have the practice session followed by the onboarding session, when I'll take you through, familiarize with you with the platform Academy of Unlimited Mind, how you go to different courses, where to start, how to proceed. And then we will have a group. There'll be a WhatsApp group where we'll all be there, and our few of our mentors, and I'll also be there in the group, and we'll help you progress through the process. So that's what we are looking towards. And have a great time. Tomorrow at 7 we are meeting again. God bless all of us. Look forward to see you at 7 tomorrow. Thank you.